With the imminent release of the latest James Bond movie, many have already started speculating over who will be the next James Bond when Daniel Craig eventually hangs up his budgie smugglers. So, who are the main contenders? Daniel Craig will be making his 4th appearance as Bond in the new movie Spectre, and although he isn't planning on chucking in his tux anytime soon, we thought it couldn't hurt to look at some of the likely suspects who could follow in Craig's footsteps. The usual suspectres. Let's start with the obvious choice, Idris Elba. Now, until Daniel Craig's reboot of Bond, we didn't really know much about the character's past in the original films. Craig has since brought us a new and more complex Bond, whose troubled background has played a crucial role in shaping his character. And I can think of no one better to continue this multifaceted version than Idris Elba, who has dominated the 007 rumour mill of late, and with good reason. Today's Bond is more than a bed-hopping dapper agent with a penchant for one-liners. He needs a certain depth and versatility, which Idris has shown in bucket loads in BBC America's Luther, where he plays a brilliant and emotionally tortured detective who, much like Craig's Bond, is impulsive and a bit of a maverick. The role has won him a Golden Globe, and thankfully Luther is making a comeback in a new made-for-TV movie on Thursday, December 17th on BBC America. The fact that he happens to look good in a suit is just a bonus, but I feel that for research purposes, we should just take a look at a few pictures. Oh, love it. Strong. Keep going. Okay, now without the suit. No? Tom Hardy. It's hardly surprising that we might consider Tom Hardy as the next James Bond. He's certainly no stranger to a high-speed car chase, as seen in Mad Max Fury Road, and many reckon he could easily pick up where Craig leaves off. He also oozes charm, is incredibly cool, and can pack a punch when needed. We're used to seeing Tom cast as the villain, so to watch him as the heroic leading man could make for a refreshing change. Known for bringing a colourful sense of mischief to his roles, he'd certainly make for an intriguing Bond. When asked if he would consider picking up the old martini glass, he replied saying, "I think a question like that is certain death for anybody who would be interested in playing that part. So I don't know whether to say yes or no to it. I wouldn't say no." Great, well that clears that up then. Or does it? David Oyelowo. British actor David Oyelowo is the only person on planet Earth who can legitimately say he's the new James Bond. And it's true. The Fleming estate have hired Oyelowo to voice its new 007 novel, Trigger Mortis. Giving Bond a fresh voice is the biggest hurdle each new leading man faces, and Oyelowo has a head start. Henry Cavill, aka Superman. Cavill has already proven he can do the debonair spy thing in his recent espionage film The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And incidentally, his character Napoleon Solo was also created by Bond author Ian Fleming as something of an American counterpart to the renowned MI6 agent. Apparently, Casino Royale director Martin Campbell considered Cavill for the role of Bond back in 2005, but felt he was too young for the part. But hey, that was 10 years ago, and I think we can all agree that he's certainly blossomed into being exactly what the filmmakers could be looking for in a new Bond. Tom Hiddleston. No stranger to a film franchise, Tom Hiddleston certainly knows what it entails since taking on the role of Thor's estranged brother Loki in the Marvel Universe. However, if Craig does only decide to do one more film, Tom Hiddleston might just be a little bit too busy, considering he's already signed up to the next Thor movie, due for release in 2017, and the 2-part Avengers Infinity War, which sees him booked up until 2019 at the earliest. But should he find himself free, he has said he would certainly enjoy the idea of taking on the role. And when asked why he should be considered for Bond, he replied saying he'd like to bring a certain British charm to the part. Well, I think we can certainly agree that he'd definitely bring a dapper and droll quality akin to the days of Roger Moore, don't you think? Eddie Redmayne. At 33, some might say that Redmayne is a little too baby-faced for Bond. But let's just think about it for a moment. Daniel Craig is set to play Bond for at least one more film, and we don't know when that's going to hit the big screens. And even then, he might agree to do a few more. So by the time that the Bond role is actually up for grabs, Eddie Redmayne could have lost some of his boyish looks that may currently hold him back. Also, in today's digital world, it is increasingly likely that the next James Bond will need to be a bit of a computer whiz, and Eddie Redmayne has that whole charming geek vibe down to a T. Having already won an Oscar for his role as Professor Stephen Hawking in the film The Theory of Everything, could the role of Bond be next on his list? And what about the Bond girls? And no, I'm not talking about the usual Bond girls. I mean, we should consider a woman who is Bond. Although the powers that be probably won't let this happen anytime soon, we think they should. How awesome would it be to see a female take on the role of Bond? And who better than Emily Blunt? It is heavily rumoured that Emily Blunt has been approached to play a Bond girl in the past, but how about her actually playing Bond? I mean, she's certainly shown that she can kick some ass repeatedly as Rita Vrotesky in Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. Throw in her strong comic timing, irresistible charm, and the fact that she looks better in a tux than most men, she would certainly be the best female contender for the part. And after playing an FBI agent sent to take down a Mexican cartel boss in her latest movie Sicario, she would certainly be well equipped to take on the role of Bond. Damian Lewis. And finally, the hottest contender at the moment is Damian Lewis, the star of Homeland, who apparently joked in 2013 that Bond's Scottish ancestry outlined in Skyfall paved the way perfectly for a red-headed Bond. UK bookies have recently slashed the odds, making him the current favourite. Do they know something? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Daniel Craig is Bond right now, and at this moment in time, I wouldn't have it any other way. Although, can I just see those pictures of Idris one more time? Who is your favourite to be the next James Bond? Let us know in the comments or tweet us at Anglophenia. Subscribe for more episodes and remember to like our Facebook page too. Thanks for watching. That one is 00 Heaven. This one should be shaken, not stirred. You should probably inspector that one. Watch out for the exploding pen in this one.